creature.
Yeah, and then it goes silent.
And then it's just like,
Yeah. And then this,
and that's where you feel a little bad, like you feel guilty.
The music
And then this
changes
music
the
is
tone.
like this terrible
Burns.
thing just happens.
It's almost just like blood on the hands, like
There's a disturbance in the force.
It's like, oh God, what have I done?
Like run!
Spaghetti monsters coming after you. Oh my God.
That girl's like, I tried.
Tried. It's too late for you. The demon's inside you now.
Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Dan Morris, and here with me is my co-host.
Hi, I'm Andrew.
And this is Talk and Play, where we play games and we talk about them. And joining us this week on Talk and Play, we have
Drew Lewis.
Drew Lewis.
No Andrew. So there's no confusion. I don't even Andrew's not even part of the name. It's just Drew.
I'll exit stage right if you want. It's okay.
No, I just wanted to make sure there wasn't any confusion, because a lot of people think if you're Drew, you're like a lesser Andrew, like you just shortened your name.
Shorter Drew.
And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
My mom nixed that right in the butt. She's like, no, there's no Andrew. You're just Drew. It's on the birth certificate, Drew. So there's no, nothing against an Andrew either. I'm just saying, like, there's no, it's not, we didn't do this for the podcast. We didn't change the name so that there was no confusion. There is an Andrew and there's a Drew. You know what? I'll shut up now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to agree with you. There is a distinct difference.
Yeah.
And
people
Andrew
call me Drew.
Also has a friend named Andrew, and it's really confusing.
Yeah.
Too many Andrews out there.
Yeah. Well, just out of curiosity, Andrew, you don't have to say, but maybe you whisper in my ear. When were you born?
91.
91. Okay. Yeah. So like the 80s, I feel like in early 90s, Drew was a very I felt like a popular name. Like in my class, I felt like where I was growing up, there was a lot of friends that, or in my high school and middle school years, there was a lot of Drews. Felt like I was like one of a clan of Drews and Andrews running around.
Me and my friends all had D names in high school.
Yeah.
It was Doug, Dan, Desmond, Drew. There was a bunch of friends with
Delilah.
D names.
Delilah.
Well, anyways, Drew, thank you for joining us this time on Talk and Play, where we're going to be playing Shadow of Colossus.
Yes.
So many memories.
This is it's the 2018 remake of Shadow of Colossus. I originally played the 2005
I think they call it a remaster, because it's not really a remake.
This is technically a remaster.
Not to. Yeah.
No, I appreciate that, because I'm usually one of those people that's super anal about the difference between remake and remaster.
I mean, that's a podcast on its own, remake, remasters, reinvention, director's cuts, whatever the fuck they want to call them. It does get a little murky. There's some murky area there.
I get a little butthurt when something's like, this is a remaster, and you're like, cool, and you look at it and you're like, I see no difference here.
Exactly. It's the same.
Yeah,
so
it's the same.
This is
it's the same.
remaster by Bluepoint Games. They also did the recent Demon's Souls remaster, which we also did on Talk and Play a while back.
I haven't played Demon's Souls. I hear that's awesome, by the way.
It's pretty good. It's the thing I've spent the most time on my PlayStation 5 so far.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I actually beat it. I never beat the original Demon's Souls, but I beat the PS5 version.
Wow.
It's fun.
It looked like, I remember when they were showing it, and I never played the original, full disclosure, but when they were demoing it, they were showing the gameplay, the first 10 minutes of it or whatever. It's like, I don't know why I never played this. This game looks awesome, right up my alley. And then people were like, it's really hard, and I'm like, that's probably why.
Yeah.
Lots of controllers
really
were stuck
hard.
in walls because of how
Yeah.
Man.
I might have to cut in an edit of our Talk and Play of the Demon's Souls, where I'm bashing a corpse and Andrew starts cackling because I'm just two hand better than one.
Oh my God. Oh man, that was so fun, because you asked, it's like, okay, what kind of a voice would we have? And I put a girl's voice in a manly body,
I made this Thor looking Viking dude with a girl's voice, and we named him Leroy.
Leroy Fudge.
Leroy Fudge.
That's funny.
So, ready to crack this one open?
Oh yeah, Andrew, crack her open.
Cracker in her open. All right, finally.
Oh, what do you got there?
Oberon.
Oh, nice.
I'm actually an IPA kind of guy, but we ran out of IPA.
I don't like IPA.
Yeah, so summers are. I like a good IPA in the summer.
Let's see how fast this loads.
This game, oh man,
it's pretty fast. I was playing this. I got the remaster months ago. God, it's been a while now, and I was really excited. It took me a while to get it. I didn't get it right when it came out, even though I was really excited about the remaster. And because I watched like. I'm like one of those nerds where I'll watch like all the like making of videos of like remasters and stuff like that, where like the amount of detail they went into recreating this game the way they did was pretty incredible. Like in the care they put into the game to make sure like the gameplay's better but not drastically different. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right, yeah.
You know, so it's like there's something about holding on to that nostalgia of like that type of game. And when this came out, this was PS2, right?
This was PS2.
Came out in 2005 was the original release. And
the PS2, I mean, for what it's worth, even though it had the analog controls, those old games are still kind of janky. You know, like they're hard. They can be difficult to control. Oh my god, yeah.
Oh man. Enhanced. Sorry.
So the gameplay's a little bit more fluid, but it still feels like when you're climbing the Colossi or Colossus or however the hell you call it, plural or plural Colossus. I guess it's just Colossus. It still feels like you're in the
first them as Colossi.
Do they? Yeah, I thought so.
Oh, okay.
And it still feels kind of janky. Like, and it's kind of cool because that to me is what made the game an extra layer of difficulty. Like this ability to like hold on to like, because the Colossi are constantly trying to like buck you off and do things, and it felt hard on a PlayStation 2 controller, and it still felt hard on a PlayStation 5. And I think they kind of kept that dynamic of like what you're trying to do is very difficult, and they held on to that. So it was really cool to see.
I appreciate that in a good remaster. What else? I think like Resident Evil 2 did a good job with that in their remaster. Theirs was a full remake. Correction, that was a remake from the ground up. But they kept the spirit of the original while reinventing the controls.
Yeah.
Anyways, the beginning of this game has a really long cutscene.
So we're going to skip ahead.
Slow. It's a very slow-paced cutscene that kind of sets the setting of you don't know what. You're this guy. He has this girl who's dead, lost her soul apparently, and he brought her here to revive her. So he's prayed to this god that said, "I want you to bring back her soul for me." And the guy says, "Cool, I'll do that, but first you have to kill all these colossi." And now that's where we're at.
How many colossi do you have to kill?
8?
8?
No,
was that
there's
9?
a statue for each one.
There's a statue.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That was 6.
6. Ooh,
7. So there's 14. 8
there.
There's 16 colossi. Because I think it mirrors it on the other side.
Yeah. So it's 8 on each side.
Because I remember when I was playing, like my friend Andrew, I'm going to shout out to Andrew, my friend Andrew Hansen. He told me, he was like, "Look, you got to try this out. Look, I know this isn't your type of game because I'm like a tactical shooter type of person. But he's like, you got to try it out." So I was like, "All right, I'll try it out." So he goes, "I'm trying it out. I'm watching my friend play it for a little bit." Then he's like, "All right, you take the controls." And I'm like, "All right." So he showed me this. It's like, this is where you got to go. Follow that point. He would not tell me what it is that's at the end of that trail.
Yeah.
He would just tell me, "Go there."
Just go there.
So I do. And that was the first time. It was like the first time I saw like the Colossi, I absolutely lost my mind. I was just like, "You're telling me you got to beat that?" It's like, yeah, you got to go up there and you got to stab it.
Yeah.
In the head.
In the head.
In the head. Oh.
How?
Yeah,
So
right?
I was blown away by that, and I was like, okay, that's when the sense of wonder was actually starting to form, and I was just like blown away by it. And I was like, okay, I'm hooked. And I love when games do that too. It's just kind of like, oh my god, I'm blown away by this. I want to keep playing it.
Even looking at this now this is the PS4 version of the game. I'm playing it on the PS5, and it's bringing me back to playing it on the PS2 and thinking this is the most beautiful game I've ever played.
Oh,
back
Without
on the
a doubt.
PS2.
Yeah,
It was just like it's breathtaking, and it's this. I think it's a sense of scale that really set it apart
100%. Yeah,
because everything's just so big.
Just how big?
Like,
Yeah,
it
it was
a
just
horse.
the size. Yeah, you felt small.
the horse is giant. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I feel like with that I feel like they did this on purpose to feel small. Like
Yeah.
I felt like they did that on purpose.
Yeah, the development team and the director of this game were pretty brilliant in their design.
Oh yeah, they're ahead of the time too.
Yeah.
In a way.
It very much like I remember thinking like this kind of feels like Zelda, but like it's boss rush mode Zelda.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff in between, but really the main bulk of the game is killing bosses.
Yeah, exactly. It's literally boss after, like, there's no like little shitty cute
Grunts.
things to kill. Yeah, exactly. It's you're literally, it's just, that's it. You're finding a boss.
They don't really sugarcoat it for you either. They're just like, this is what you got to do. Now handle it.
Well, yeah, but
In
I
a
mean,
way.
that had never been done before, at least in my
No.
mind. And I think that's what made this game just so mind blowing. Not only does it look beautiful, right? So they check that box, right? And not only does is the story very mysterious, so you're kind of hooked into kind of like, what am I doing? What is my character? They don't really give you a whole lot, right? It's sort of, they kind of, like what Dan said, it's kind of cryptic. Like you kind of show up with this dead girl, you drop her on this platform, and you make a deal. You make a deal with a voice to, save her. And it's like, hey, if you want to save her, you got to do something for me. And that's all you really know, and you kind of piece together more things as it goes on. Like you learn that like he stole the sword from like his people, and ran off with.
Am I missing something?
Can you not climb to the other edge, like the other? Like
Go to the other way.
Yeah,
I've tried. He just kind of stops. If I jump, he just kind of stutters. Oh,
there you go.
There he goes. He grabbed the ledge. All right.
I feel like that ledge is like, yep, just
I'm gonna
go
give
there.
myself a little yay.
yeah, yay.
If that was your biggest obstacle,
Oh
man.
god, we're not getting far.
Oh man.
Yeah, and then they did
I do
this.
want to point out I haven't played this game in 17 years.
Oh, it
that
comes
right?
right back to you. Yeah,
I know.
It'll come back.
It'll come back.
Muscle
it's,
memory.
It's also not that complicated,
No,
right?
it's
Like,
really not.
and I think
No.
that's another thing to its advantage. Like it was a very simple mechanic. It's not a game that's
It really is.
you have to learn a ton of buttons. You have a sword, a bow, a horse, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? Jump. Yeah, stamina, right. You can hold on to things for a certain amount of time. And those things do level up, so which is nice. So you can hold on to things longer. I think
the cinematic camera angles are just so breathtaking.
Yeah.
I feel like the simplicity is what sells it. Honestly, it's you don't need you don't want to make the mechanics too complex.
There we go.
Ooh, nice.
I feel like I could load up the PS2 version of this game right now, and I would still just be
See
like,
the
God
difference.
dang, look how good that looks.
Because oh man,
yeah. It too. I think it was like a breath of fresh air. In the popular games that I played, and I think a lot of people played, were like very heavy story games. You look at like Metal Gear, and you look at like Zelda, for example, and Mario, and like the other games they had. There it is.
Oh. And that's oh my god. And that's when I asked, it's like, I gotta beat that.
I still remember like when I first played this game, I got it fairly shortly after it first came out because I was like, this just looks like my jam. Like I'm all about this. And I popped this bad boy on my PS2 and I got to this guy and I was like, wait, I'm already at like one of the Colossus. I'm already at the boss. What's going on?
Yeah.
And then it's when you realize that like the Colossus itself is a puzzle.
Yeah.
It's a level that you have to conquer.
Yeah.
God, it's just so intense. And like this is like one of the smaller ones.
And it doesn't tell you anything.
No.
Like that's what's crazy. It doesn't.
Right.
It doesn't tell you where to climb. It doesn't tell you where the weak points are. You sort of have to discover like what you're doing
Oh, look at
now
that. I got a trophy.
on your own.
It's exactly, yeah, and it's just like, and that is again, that's what I love about it too. It's just the fact that it's like, look,
well, that's kind of like
it's just like you got to hit the ground running almost, essentially.
It's almost like the theme of like the Dark Souls or the Demon Souls games that we talked about before. Is they're very minimalist. It kind of lets you figure it out on your own, kind of thing. Like, I mean, this game isn't nearly as hard.
No.
Oh, he's gonna attack me.
Well.
Ha. Oh, squish.
Oh, dude, you would be just destroyed.
I wasn't even
fly
doing
on a
anything.
wall.
I'm just
fly
dead.
on a wall, dude.
Gameplay recording. What?
You entered a black scene.
I wasn't even recording gameplay though.
Yeah,
it's
weird.
probably automatically doing that. Probably. That's weird.
I mean, it's one of those games they probably don't want people sharing this stuff, so you can't like spoil it for anyone. Ow.
Ooh.
I know the vitals will be revealed.
Oh yeah, yep. And just I love the fact too when you're holding on for dear life, it's showing that like you know how he's like being flopped around all over the place. It's just like the physics behind it too. I was just like, oh my god.
This is like the winding up of the sword too. You're like, come on, and then like as soon as you go to stab, it wiggles you. Big blood spray.
Yeah.
Can they move up now, or do I just keep
just
stabbing that leg?
Dan, just the stamina part was just what was it? What's the word I'm looking for?
Go down.
Just giving me anxiety of it. It's like I hope I don't fall because I've gotten this far.
Oh, especially when you have to fight like the big bird monster that is flying.
Oh, I hated that. I hated it.
That was actually my favorite fight in the entire game.
There was a hole in a wall in my old house because of that.
Yeah.
Because of that bird.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's designed so that you have to jump on it multiple times.
Yeah, it's
you know, like there's no way to hold on long enough, right? Like and each Colossi, they were really smart too, because each Colossi has like you learn something each time you fight one that kind of helps you fight the next one, right? Like you kind of learn things as you move on, like how to traverse them, their weak spots, like places that you can go and grab onto. I remember there were some that took me a long time to beat, just because I couldn't figure it out. Like it was complicated.
Right. I know. Well, there are some like things that can help you and how to conquer them too. Like, what was it? The squirrels. If you hunt the squirrels, they can help you with your stamina bar. I think
there's lizards that you can
lizards.
collect.
Is it lizards?
Yeah.
Lizards.
You have to collect and eat these lizards to build up your stamina.
And part of me felt like that's how you would go about it.
Yeah. And there's fruit too. I think you can that helps your health bar.
Yeah, I think it's lizards are for stamina and fruit are for health.
Yeah. And in the remaster, there's like these like shiny sort of mystical like glowy particles that you can collect as like another hidden Easter egg.
Okay, I gotta let
that's in the remastered. Like
that's in the remaster. So it's sort of like it's like hunting for like if you're an Uncharted fan, like treasures or Last of Us pendants. You know, they're like these little glowing, and it's really cool in game. So audio is such a big part of this game. So in the game, when you're near one of those like glow particles that you can collect, there's like this high pitched sound that goes in through the speakers or your headset, and the closer you get, the sound sort of gets a little bit louder, so you know you're near one. It's really cool. So you go like searching for it, and they're in hard to find places. Sometimes you have to climb to get them.
So it's like an audio cue, like to show like, hey, you're near it. And okay, that's cool.
I want to talk about this real quick. What's happening here? So the Colossus is dead. And you're like, all right, cool, I did it. And then this happens.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And it's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, I tried so hard to run away from that.
Yeah, we always try to
just
run
to see
away
how
from
far I can go.
Yeah.
Well, and it makes you kind of wonder what that means, like what's happening there. I always kind of took it to mean like it's draining your life force every time you kill one of them or something, stealing your soul.
Oh, really? I felt like it was like putting something in you. Like it felt like it was shooting you full of like demon dust or something, like badness. And that's
it's like
shadow.
You're a part of us kind of deal, like or something like that. I see what you're saying.
Or you're like a vessel, so that when you get to this chapel, you release it and it becomes that figure, right? And then the voice kind of comes on or something here, and then the statues crumble every time you defeat one.
Yeah, the statue will crumble, and then the god will talk to you and be like, you did one, now go to the next one.
Yeah, he gives you like a cryptic like Yoda like message on where to go and what to do, like who you're about to fight.
I do love the fact that culturally it's screaming like, Aztec, like how do I put it in words with
I mean
it gives off a certain vibe,
That's an interesting notion too, because like I totally get what you're saying, and I hadn't actually thought about that before. But then when you think about like the whole Aztec culture and like
just the way how the building is, or something, like just the inside of it, or how the patterns are, it gives off that vibe.
You're 100% right. It's like Aztec, but it's also sort of feels Gothic in a way, right? Like it's kind of like a mixture between the two.
The seaside cave, it moves slowly.
That's exactly it too. It's like a mixture, and it's like I was like, this is amazing.
I think my least favorite Colossi that I can remember Colossus from this was the water one, like a water dragon or fish type one.
Yeah,
that one sucked.
Oh, that one's hard. Yeah, because it takes you underwater, and you have to like. You can only do so much while it's under, like you have to like lure it to you, and then you have to find a way to grab it as it's moving under you, because it only arches its back to a point where you can grab it at a certain point. Yeah, it's like the timing of it is really hard, is really difficult.
Can I drop down here?
This game is legitimately, to me, is like trial and error. You're gonna die. You gotta try again. It's like what Dan said, it's a puzzle. And that's the problem. But that's not the problem. That's the problem is patience. You gotta have patience.
To overcome it. Puzzles just pull me in. Like I can't not solve a puzzle.
I'm the same, man. Like I'll spend way too much time solving a puzzle that has no meaning or does not progress you into the game. It's just a puzzle that's there to solve.
It's just there.
Yeah.
Okay, great at it. Gotcha.
Like, so those things heal you, and they're also markers, so they're kind of like on the map.
It took me a second to figure out what I had to do, so I had to hit R2, and then he kneels, and I was like, okay. So I wouldn't have, if I hadn't tried pressing buttons, I would have never even done that. Let's go, horse.
God, just the size of this map, just the size of the game, or the map of this is just. I still get blown away to this day. Let's just say that it's just
And then you open up the map, and it's like, you realize all those clouds will move, and there's just so much. There's so many things going on.
And that feels Japanese, like that map style.
Right, that map style.
Yeah, it's very similar to like the overworld map in Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very similar. And even Breath of the Wild, I mean, Zelda games like adapted the stamina.
Yeah, that's right. Breath of the Wild did.
You have to climb on top of stuff.
You climb legitimately everything. In that game. Because I've still yet to beat it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I kind of took a break from it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I gotta beat it. I got to the third boss in there.
Have you tried your bow yet, Dan?
Yeah.
I have the bow.
You should have a bow. Yeah.
I'm pressing buttons. Oh.
And you could fire it from
there. It is
from the horse.
I remember you could do that. Yeah. Because sometimes you have to be on your horse too.
Yeah,
right. Bring some colossi down.
Yeah. There's a couple that are pretty hard where it's hard for people, right? I mean, you're controlling not only your horse, but also like aiming the bow mechanic, right? So you're kind of like you have to kind of trust your horse won't run you off a cliff while you're turning to shoot something.
Yeah, I think you have to do that a lot during the bird. Like you have to shoot it in the wings to make it come down.
Right,
and go lower so you can actually get on him. Oh man, this is just beautiful, breathtaking vista here.
Yeah,
chef's kiss.
I mean, it's one of those things. Like I've I mean, look at that bridge that you crossed in the opening. Like, look how big that is. Like that rivals anything even I've seen in Lord of the Rings. Like anything of that. Like that is on a scale that is just like they built this thing on such a just amazing.
How they built, especially like how they built it on that landscape, or on that, like through what do you call it, canyon. It's just the mere size of it is just I'm gobsmacked.
Gobsmacked. It seems like the sound is coming through whenever something loud happens.
Booming.
That's probably where Zoom is like, oh, I hear it now.
And Drew, to kind of to talk about the bridge again, it's like it's funny when you're looking at the bridge and it just keeps going.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just they put things on a scale that is just like you were saying before. It's just everything feels big, and I wonder if that, like, you start to think about the design decisions around that, and you start to think of, okay, we have these giant monsters. Clearly, they would live in an area that feels big, right? As well, to be able to roam and have these giant beasts have the space to be where they are. And so that's interesting, but then you'd also have like this thinly built bridge as the only way to escape, so that they couldn't escape as well, right? Like, so you start to put together like rules that you've built in order to make things the way they are, for the story that you're creating.
Like if you think about, like, look at this bridge that's way up there. These archways under the bridge are probably big enough for any of the Colossi to walk underneath.
Under it.
Yeah.
So, and that's a lot of thought process too that they put into that. It's like, it's like, oh yeah, we made it just big enough for them to traverse under it.
I know I never even thought about that playing the game the first time, which, I mean, trying to think back to like 2005, like I was actually at that time stationed in San Diego in the military, and like I'm just like, what am I going to do in my free time? And I just bust out my PS2, and that's actually when I devoured games like Shadow of Colossus and God of War. Like I ate up any games I could get my hands on back then.
I feel like video games back in like back in the PlayStation 2, PS3, Xbox and Xbox 360 eras, like they had a lot of good ideas, and like with a lot of video games, like there was a lot. I felt like there was a lot of creative freedom.
Yeah,
I feel like
a bunch of games.
I agree,
still the PS2 has one of the best game libraries available at this point too.
Yeah,
it was a very Japanese heavy market. So I mean, you have a lot of creative Japanese titles that found their start back then, like Stone of the Enders, and Devil May Cry.
Solid.
I mean, Metal Gear started before that, but it hit its stride on the PS2.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, it did. The NES version's a quite different experience.
Yeah. Where are you? You're down here somewhere.
Oh, you got this.
Use your sword. Oh, there's no light, right, to reflect off.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right too. That's another. That was. I remember that mechanic too.
Like he's down here somewhere.
I think there's a cave. I look for a cave opening.
Yeah, there's an opening over there. I see it. What's throwing me off though is the horse controls are completely different than most games where you ride a horse.
Right.
So it's completely throwing me off. Oh,
there you go.
There we go. Something's happening. Oh, hi. Welcome to the show. Oh, that music.
Oh my god. Yeah.
It's so cool. So there's another piece here that I don't think when I played the first game and I played this remaster, knowing how this ends, right?
Mm-hmm.
That like he bursts out of that. It's almost like so that wall was built to kind of hold him in.
Yeah,
right?
I was just thinking about that. Like, why did he only just now come out of there?
Right. Well, and it's because you've arrived to challenge them, right? And you've brought the sword, and the sword is the only thing. You figure this out as you go on. The sword is the thing that can kill them, right? It's not just any sword has the capability to kill these things.
And they hint at that in the beginning, in the opening cutscene that we surpassed, because like the gods that talk to the guy are like, "You're just a mortal, but your sword you can do some stuff with that sword.
Right.
Like literally as a challenge almost, right?
Yeah.
Not like it's necessarily a challenge, I guess. I don't know.
So I'm wondering if this is where, I don't know if he's got a spot I can climb yet, or if I'm going to have to rely on my bow at this point.
I think you have to hit him with the bow,
oh,
and he arches up under his legs. You shoot him. You shoot his hooves. Yeah.
Yeah, hooves. That's what I was gonna say. I saw the glint of light that's like coming from his like whenever time he steps up.
Like you can see underneath.
Forward, you can see underneath his hooves.
Yeah.
So I think this is more. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think this is where you gotta bait him.
Oh no. I'm trying to remember how to do. There we go. Oh, he stepped on me though.
So essentially, you gotta bait him to do that in order to use your bow on that.
Yeah.
Imagine. I remember. I'm sure the first time I did this, it probably took me forever to figure that out. Like, how do I get on this guy? It's like you said, Drew. It teaches you something with each Colossus.
You essentially have to be very observant and try to look for the weaknesses. That's with
especially
every Colossus.
You can't use the sword at this point.
Right.
Okay,
so if you start to shoot him, he'll do a hoof raise.
There you go.
Or he'll do it right here.
There we go. There you go.
Oof, that looks like it hurt.
And I just when I figured that aspect of that like that out the first time doing this, I was just like,
I'm a genius.
Yeah.
Like seriously, that's what I had to do. I felt good about myself though.
The climbing mechanics are still a little wonky. They didn't change that much. Like
right.
I think they call him the Wanderer because he doesn't actually have a name.
Yeah, you never hear his name.
They're like, whoa.
Oh, God.
Whoa. Like, what is happening? Like, I can't really control him quite right, and I'm starting to run out of stamina.
Yeah. See, that's the anxiety aspect of that game too. It's like
climb,
you can do it.
Ah.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, rest.
Yeah, so rest and then get some stamina back, and then he'll try to jostle you off. So you have to kind of like
you can crouch to help lower your center of gravity.
There you go. Yeah. Yep.
I'm gonna go for the jump and grab.
Oh, brave move.
Yeah, that's bold.
Yeah. Bold strategy.
Yeah, bold strategy, Cotton. See if it pays off.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Wow.
I'm going.
That's where you had to be. That's when you have to be brave into doing stuff like that too.
You also have to kind of like judge like if the surface you're on is stable enough for you to stand on.
Right.
All right, we got a weak spot here. Charging up. Like
and I just want to talk about like just the music, like the audio, like oh man, it matches so well with what you're doing.
Yeah.
With the Colossi that you're versing.
Is there a different song for each Colossus?
I feel like I want to say that there was, but I'm not sure. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm not sure
all the
either.
Black stuff.
But it was just like it felt like with depending on the situation, there was like it felt right.
What's crazy is like how epic it's making it feel. Like you feel like you're a big hero right now. You're like you're doing this amazing thing, but at the same time, it's a little sad, and it's like, am I doing the right thing?
Yeah,
it makes you question.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, can we talk spoilers here? Do you think?
I'm not worried about it.
We're not worried about it.
So
yeah, the game makes you question whether or not you're actually a hero.
Yeah, so every time they die, it feels very solemn, right? Like the music changes, the tone completely changes. Like right now, you're hearing this sort of like action beat music, like dun 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 dun, and then when they die, it gets really kind of like, oh man,
sad.
What did I just do, right? You know,
right.
But then you're sort of like, well, obviously I need to do this, right? I need to save the girl, right? So like you've been trained all your life watching movies and
playing Mario Brothers.
Exactly. That like, hey, you want to save the girl, right? So you're in your head, you're sort of rationalizing it as a gamer. That like, well, yeah, clearly I'm doing the right thing here. Like this is the game. This is what the game set up for me to do. And then at the end, it's a complete fucking gut punch, dude. Like,
oh yeah,
it just is like, dude, you are the bad guy here.
Mm-hmm.
It's that revelation, and you're just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
It's like a bigger M. Night Shyamalan twist than you can do.
Well, it felt. Oh, go ahead.
Well, no, I'm just. I had never played anything like that before this game, and I mean, and maybe there are games like this that had done that before this, but I hadn't done it. So for me, this was sort of changed the way I think about video games.
It does.
I mean, did you guys have that experience? I don't know. For me, it was pretty like, I don't know. It hit me in a way that
No,
it was pretty jarring a little bit, honestly, because I did feel that way as well, where it felt like, it's like, am I doing this? Like,
I will say that probably would have happened to me if I hadn't played Metal Gear Solid 2 before this. Because Metal Gear Solid 2 messes with your head.
Yeah,
hard.
but it never makes you the bad
like,
guy.
Yeah, it doesn't. Compared to like this game, I felt like it was and the thing too about it is, I feel like with this music right now, where he's feeling like he's a hero, he's like an actiony. I feel like that's from his perspective. Like it's just like this is what he's feeling,
right?
Almost in a sense.
Yeah, that's a good take. Yeah, that's a good take.
Oh no! Why? I just got up there.
And I mean, think about that. Like the mechanic for him to auto grab on an edge. That's very like. I mean, I didn't see that until like I was playing Uncharted again.
Right.
Like that sort of like.
Yeah, he goes into that animation where he's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I have to be holding the grab button or else he won't do it. But
right. But
still, it's like there we go. Gotta make my way up his back. I totally flubbed it by. Oh no!
Oh god!
No. Don't fall off!
No, dude!
He almost got me.
Hold on.
It's stuff like that too, where you're on like, what's the word? Dan, I'm having a hard day today.
Have some more
it's
beer,
that uneven terrain. Oh.
See, and like they're self-aware, like they shake you off. Yeah. It's so cool. It's so cool.
Am I ready? Yeah.
There you go.
And then the blood spray is like.
Just
that looks like it hurt.
Yeah, right?
Thanks, voice.
Thanks, God.
Yeah. Thanks, evil demigod thing.
Whatever you are.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it just makes you feel like you actually feel like I am hurting this creature.
Yeah, and then it goes silent.
And then it's just like, yeah.
And then
that's where you feel a little bad, like you feel guilty.
The music
and then
changes
this music
the
is
tone.
like this terrible thing just happens.
It's almost just like blood on the hands, like
there's a disturbance in the force.
It's like, oh god, what have I done?
Like run!
Spaghetti monster's coming after you. Oh my god.
That girl's like, I tried.
Tried. It's too late for you. The demon's inside you now.
And the one
to get it out was with fire.
You were one with a demon.
Need fire. You know, and the thing too about what I love about like Shadow Colossus too is it's the fact that it keeps you hooked, like in a way. Like it just you start to become a bit invested into what's happening next. Like what's the next Colossi? Like
like what's the next one going to be like? What's the next challenge?
The next obstacle that I got to do? Like it's just like it makes you come back like that. I love it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it's not for a very like game that's like, okay, go find Colossi, kill Colossi. It's very simple. Yeah. But each Colossi are so like they did such a good job on the design. They're so different that you never feel like you're doing the same thing twice. You know, like each battle is so drastically, or each Colossi encounter, and how do you solve that? To your point, the puzzles are so smart that it doesn't feel repetitive.
No, it doesn't. It's kind of like with the first boss. So you had the first Colossi, you had to get the Achilles heel essentially just to get onto its back. The other one was the hooves. You got to shoot the hooves, so you got to bait it, you know, or same with the bird. You got to
find that weak spot that opens up an opportunity.
And I feel like that's what they invest heavily on. It's just that look, you have to observe. You just have to be very observant of what you have to find their weakness.
I wanted to draw a parody too back to Breath of the Wild. Like this is showing how much inspiration Breath of the Wild takes from this game, because in Breath of the Wild there are the giant I forget the
name. I forget the name too.
There's four dang it, I'm gonna have to get yelled at.
We'll call them weapons.
the four like behemoths you have to they're each a big puzzle. You have to get on them. They're moving puzzles. You have to find your way through them. There's a lot of climbing involved. It's very similar in its own way. They're bigger puzzles than this one, but there's only 4 in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to just like draw that comparison and how much inspiration that it looks like, Miyamoto probably took from this game.
I wouldn't put it past them, but
Yeah.
It's
gonna hit me a minute later. Like,
but then again, it's like, and that's why I was kind of going back from before. It was just like with PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, Xbox and Xbox 360. I just,
where are you?
there were so many games that were just like okay, like Brothers in Arms. There's that. There was oh god. Why am I having a hard time? It was like a Time Splitters.
Oh yeah,
something like that. If it was on the PlayStation 3, where you can rewind time, pause time, or something like that. I thought that was Time Shift. I think is what it was called. Army of Two, and that was actually like the co-op, and I was just like blown away by that because it's like, you could play with your friends. What? I was like amazed by that.
Yeah.
Go. Oh, that's right. I was going to say something else that reminds me of one of the other games on the PlayStation 2 that came out around the time this did that I had to play was Killzone.
Yeah.
Because at the time when Killzone came out and PlayStation was marketing it, they were calling it the Halo Killer. And I was like, I got to see this.
Yeah.
And I played it for about a day or two, a couple of times, and I'm like, no.
Really? I mean, here's the deal. It's not actually Killzone wasn't a bad game.
It was a good game, but
compared to Halo, it's not quite the thing. But
they say Halo Killer though. That's a bold.
They ended up
claim.
making, I think, 3 or 4 of those Killzone games.
I
think I played the first 2, but I remember liking the story. It was very dark and very kind of gory. So I liked that aspect.
Killzone 2, I think, was the better. I think Killzone 2 was the best one.
The shock value too was pretty good.
Yeah,
it was on port. Mm-hmm. I guess to talk about shock value too was Manhunt 2. That was pretty shock value. Oh man,
that game was all shock value.
That game. Oh, with Brian Cox in it. Oh man, that dude was amazing. He was amazing as the director. He brought that to life in a way too. Like you love to hate him.
Get on the horse. There you go.
There you go. But that's again like, and that was Rockstar being bold with that game too, because it got a lot of heat.
There was a lot of games that came out back then that were like pushing that like violence,
that envelope
video games, like the Suffering.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, the Suffering. I remember. That's another game that was fun.
And now we have games like The Last of Us where you get to just see the most awful things happen to people.
Oh my god.
And dogs.
Man. Like I remember playing the first game. Just a quick tangent on The Last of Us. I remember like when Joel literally smashes someone's face into the wall, or just crushes some dude's skull into the floor. Like as in the gameplay. Like that's not even a cutscene. That's like you playing the game, just beating people to death.
Right.
There was something different about that. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's because of the graphics or because of the I don't know what, but versus in part 2 when you're Ellie, and I don't know if it's because it's Joel versus like you're playing Ellie or Abby, and you're literally like just like doing similar things, like just literally grinding a knife into their throat and or into their chest, or just it felt different for some reason. And I can't put my finger on it, but like that type of violence was very jarring. It was really weird.
One was like rage, and one could be like more precision. Like with their personality, like more like their personality.
Especially because you were committing these acts of violence against other people. That was a big part of what made it so extra, I guess, because I've played plenty of games before where you're ripping apart monsters, you're blasting things in the face, but it's usually the people you don't eviscerate as much as you did in like The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Just to follow up with that, Drew, there was a game that actually Nolan was in. I'm trying to remember the game, but it was. Thank you, Spec Ops.
I knew where you were going.
Spec Ops, and it's cool because I love that game. That game was pretty jarring too, because you're following a character that's like, what's the word? It's like basically falling into madness, essentially.
Yeah.
And the more like the executions that you can do in that game, like the very beginning, it was quick and painless. And then like towards the end of it, it was just like, I'm gonna fucking make you suffer.
Whoa.
It was like, man, it was cool to see that character kind of devolve into that, like, or to just fall into that category now of just saying, I'm fucking losing it.
Yeah.
Is this the flying one? This next one? I feel like this desert area that I'm about to go
I
into.
don't think you're quite at the flying one yet.
Yeah, I think it's a little late. I'm not sure. You know what? It's funny. We remember the ones that were the hardest, but we don't remember the ones that in between. For me,
Well, like I said, I think the bird one was one of my favorites because it just felt so awesome because you had to like ride the horse and you had to jump off of him to grab onto his wings like as he flew by you.
Yeah.
This feels like something super cinematic and epic is about to happen when I go over this hill. Like, nope, not quite there yet. There we go. There's a bridge. Oh, I can't see. There's
oh yeah. You might be getting close.
Was this the right way? I feel like this is early for this.
I feel like,
for this boss.
This is where it told me to go.
Okay.
Is it? Oh, you know what? I think it could be like probably a challenge for you to kind of like get past this and then check again where you got to go.
Well, you have to do them in order. It won't let you.
Oh,
yeah, there's a certain order.
Right.
Yeah,
it won't let you.
So now that I'm out of the steam,
yeah, like
I still don't have any light. No light.
Now,
because I remember the area you're in, and that one's a very difficult colossi to fight. Like, because of the steam, and then he throws like lava at you or lava.
Ooh, really?
Or maybe this is
that way.
Well, maybe it is that.
Gotta go up and around. Do you think?
I'm thinking more like.
Oh wait, what's that? What's that down there?
That's just the opening. Like
I wouldn't. Yeah.
Jump down there. See what happens.
Go ahead.
Okay.
It's. Don't worry. The water is just. It's like hot tub water. It's hot tub water. All right. Don't worry. You're gonna be fine.
Maybe I have to go up around the mountainside here.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think you were right saying like I just got to get through that and
then check.
heading up that way
for the sun to come back out. Yeah, to kind of.
I think that's a dead end, but maybe not.
I know the camera's making it all cinematic, but it's making it hard too.
You know what it's cool about the level design is that there's like hidden trails almost. Like you look at the side of a mountain, like that can't be an opening there. And you look, you go further down, what? There's an opening here.
Okay, it's pointing that way still.
So go maybe like around, like follow that trail around to the right.
That's what I'm thinking. I will go into one other spoiler about this game that definitely pulls the heartstrings. When you lose your horse.
Yeah, man.
Like you're like, no.
That's yeah.
It's rough.
That hurts.
And I think that's like it. It's part
lizard.
of like it's. Oh yeah, there it is. It's part of that journey where like that. Just to your point, it's you lose everything. Doing this. Like you lose not only do you lose your horse, but you end up losing yourself. And
I was definitely not ready for that lizard.
Yeah, they're fast. Those lizards are hard to kill.
They really do.
Yeah, you got to be ready for them.
Yeah,
you do essentially like he loses himself and like that what you said.
Yeah,
with that.
And the ending it's sad. Like this isn't like you don't end this game and be like I did it. I saved the universe.
Save the princess.
It's more of asking the question was like was it worth it?
Right. Yeah. I can't believe it's funny that this game is so popular. I guess it just doesn't seem like a game that would be, but I think every gamer should play this game. Like it's sort of like one of those games that I think
quintessential.
Yeah, I think it's just where sure you can play the Battlefronts and the Call of Duties and even the Last of Us's or the Uncharted's, but like this game sort of set like a precedent, I think, for games moving forward to take challenges, and do things like story beats that were unconventional. Because, and I know Dan, you're right. I mean, Metal Gear, like especially Metal Gear Solid, with the Psycho Mantis and the way they handled like the mind bendingness of those games.
Metal Gear Solid 1 is so good.
They broke ground on that too, but I don't know if they quite hit what this emotionally what this game does.
It's because this one it sets a certain tone. Honestly,
playing through Metal Gear Solid 1 when you're like, let's say I'm maybe 10 to 15 years old, and there's all this talk about like genomes and biological warfare, and I'm like, I have no idea what they're talking about. But it's fascinating.
Whereas this one's just like you're on a personal journey,
Yeah, right.
And that's kind of like the tone that I feel like that's where it kind of tries to set for you. And I think that's how it gets its hooks into you too. And then that's how you get invested in this game, the storyline.
100%.
The non-story story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like, I need to know more.
But those get you good though, when there's like, it's a story, but it's all through like context. It's all subjective, and you can kind of make what you will out of it.
Yeah.
Am I in the right place now?
I do want to talk about, I don't know if you guys are familiar. I think you got to go around the bend here.
Yeah, I think so too.
There's something really like that I hadn't realized. Don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of this game, but there are people that are like really super fans of this game.
Oh yeah.
And there's this one Reddit thread that got really popular, and I didn't know about it until this guy did this like really, really cool breakdown video. And it's called this, I think it's called the Last Big Secret, the video. So like if you guys are watching this, go Google the Last Big Secret on YouTube, or like just Google it, and there's like write-ups I think that you could find that
And I'm gonna write that down too. So
it's super cool. So go watch this, but I'll give you a quick rundown, and I'm gonna butcher this because it's been a while since I've seen it. But apparently, so the creator of this game originally intended, I think his name was Ueda, intended for there to be like 48 colossi in the game, right? And obviously that's a lot, right? For a PlayStation 2 game. So they kind of whittled 48 down to 16. But like the people who have played the game or people who have broken the game to be able to like go outside the boundaries have seen like areas that they've built for other colossi that that you obviously can't access through normal means, but like if you break the game and like end up going like through walls and through mountains, you can see these other areas. And there's other things so there's places where they see like patterns happen, like where like points intersect. So like where all the shrines are located, they all point to like one, like if you draw a line, they all kind of center on one area. There's ideas to where there's like hieroglyphs on certain areas that denote that there might be like a hidden door in places. So there's like these theories that go way, way, way deep into this game, where these people, this Reddit thread that goes on, this Reddit thread is like one of the longest Reddit threads like ever. And that go into all these theories. I'm like, everyone thought there was a last colossi to unlock. Like there was a final colossi.
Like a hidden one.
Like a hidden one, right? And so everyone was trying to solve this puzzle because there's a door, and I think it's on the 12th colossi or 13th, one of the colossi. There's a door that looks like it can open, right? It's clearly a doorway, right? And it looks like there's a way to open it, but if you only knew how to, right? Like, and some people thought like you could light like a certain torch, like because like in Ico, the original Ico, like lighting torches was like a way to unlock things. So there's like there was all these crazy theories, and at the end of the day, they kind of gave up. They thought, nice shot.
Nice.
They thought that listen, there's no way this they've broken the game. There's even a way to break the game where or not break the game, but kind of do a hack where, so at the end of the game you can access like a secret garden, like that's above the tower, and there's a way to access that garden prior to the staircase unlocking, at the end of the game. So there's a way to climb to it if you have max stamina and you know exactly what to do. You can get to this. You can get to the secret garden ahead of time, and so people thought like, okay, that was a way. That was an Easter egg, and it kind of was.
Yeah.
But there ended up being no final or 17th colossi. So the remaster, here's where the story gets really cool. So the people at Bluepoint, the people who did the remaster, were aware of this this theory, this idea, and they actually built into the game this secret. So they actually They actually like if you and that's where the collectibles like the blue orbs that you can collect, the blue dust. If you collect all the blue dusts, you can unlock that door where that one door where the Colossus is, and when you go down there, you can unlock and it ends up not being a final Colossi, but there is like a final sword, like a special sword you can get.
It's kind of little like here's a little.
It's a little nod to
nice.
to the people who spent all those years trying to break the game to find the last secret, the last Colossi. But I mean, listen, I gave that story minimal amount of justice. Like, go watch the video because it is incredibly fascinating. The amount of effort and the amount of time and like all the secrets that they found just in the game, like all these little hidden things, like all the effort that was put into the game that you didn't see realized, like all these areas where there could have been Colossi, and then you like learn about these sketches that they found, like where what the Colossi would have looked like in that area. So
it's crazy.
It goes. It's really cool.
I'm gonna put it in my phone. What was the name of it? That video.
I think if you just Google the last secret, the last big secret, and Shadow of the Colossus, it'll come up.
So I guess I'm gonna save it, so at least I have it. So I want to take a look at that.
It's one of those moments where you're watching that and you're like, and this was literally like I think a couple years before or right around when the remaster came out. Before the remaster came out, and I mean, this game is what came out? You said 2002, so
the original was 2005.
2005, and I mean to consider that like they were still that thread was still going and still like active, trying to find that secret for that long.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Just to think about it too, it's like
I remember this. You're having a fight with this giant Colossus on top of a building in the middle of a lake.
Oh, this was the cover art too.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, and he's like he attacks you with this thing like a sword. You'll like
that's right.
And you gotta run up the sword.
Run up the sword.
Bait him again. Yeah, you have to do another bait.
Yeah, and because he has to hit it on certain metal
a certain
points.
surface. Yeah, exactly.
I was gonna say, like, Drew, I find all of that super fascinating, but I couldn't help it. Like at some point while you were going hard, just picturing PJ like.
Oh, totally, dude. Yeah, that's what happens. I nerd out and I bore the shit out of everybody else.
Well, that's why I was excited to get you on here, Drew, because I wanted you to nerd out.
Because that's kind of the thing about Talk and Play too. It's like nerd out, man.
Boy.
Oh god. See, this was just like
shit ass.
Odds. Oh man.
Oh, dude, he just whacked. You would be so good.
That is just. Oh, you're still there.
I'm still alive. I'm glad you guys said something about making him hit the hard surface because I would have totally forgotten about that. Dodge.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I remember I've played this game relatively recent, like in the last 7 months. So
I gotta get back into playing this again because.
All right. Run.
There's so many games I want to play too.
Reach.
You got to zag, dude.
Zigzag, man.
You're like you're like that dumbass in Game of Thrones who.
Oh.
Who was that kid that got shot with an arrow because he couldn't zigzag?
Oh.
In the Battle of the Bastards or whatever.
He zigged when he should have zagged.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Let's go, dude. Oh, it did damage. Not a lot, but
you get unlimited arrows.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Oh, so you can like kill them with bug bites.
Yeah. For I don't even.
For like how many times? Oh god.
Yeah, you can just hold on to the sword.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I would laugh. So. Well, does he swing his sword? Like try to get you off the sword? I wonder.
If he does, if he's screwed.
He will if you're on.
If you're still there, like dude.
Come on now. Gotta climb up into his armpit. Let's see. Can I get up there? Does he have a weak spot on his back, I think?
I think it was his lower... No, not lower back, huh?
Not there.
No. I feel...
I
think it's going to be on his upper.
Might be on his stomach, yeah.
Might be. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
I love how it's like all this is like coming back. Like I remember.
No, totally, it does. It's weird how it does. Like the games you loved kind of like stick with you.
Starts, especially as it starts to flood back in.
Yeah.
Especially because they're a puzzle. That's like, have you ever played Limbo?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love Limbo. That game, like I've played it probably a dozen times.
Oh wow.
That's another game that's like this. Like it's really, it makes you think.
Yeah.
I love the puzzles, but I'll replay that game like every other year because I'll forget the puzzles.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then when I come back to it, I'm like, how do I do this? I know how to do this, but I can't remember right now. And it takes me a minute to figure them out again. I don't think I maxed out this week's point.
No. Yeah, I think it goes dark when you.
What was the? There was another game that kind of falls suit with that with Limbo, but it came out recently. Back I think like this year.
You know, that's like Limbo, or is it
like,
just like Limbo?
It's like if I'm thinking of Limbo right, is Limbo the one where it's like a
it's a
like black and white
puzzle
side-scrolling.
It's mostly black and white.
I'm trying to remember the name of the game, but it's just this. It's like you're. Oh man, why am I having a hard time with this one? It's essentially like
Inside.
Maybe
because Inside was made by the same studio.
Same studio, yeah.
No, this was basically. It was called like I think it was like something light, or you were like this little girl in a raincoat.
Oh, Little Nightmares.
Little Nightmares. You know,
I never played
that. That is such an interesting game.
That's a spooky, like a horror-themed version of Limbo. Hi, guy. What's up? Like I'm looking him in the eyes now as I'm about to stab him.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, and that's where he's like shake his head.
Isn't that cool? Man. Like it just feels so real. Like it just feels like that's exactly what something like that would do if.
That's what I would do if I had something like that stabbing me. Like, I was like, oh, I gotta get it off me. That's a natural. That's a natural reaction.
You get a
like,
bug
something
climb on your head and just stabs you
with a sword.
Yeah, that's basically what a bug does.
That's what a bug.
That's a big bug, though.
I feel bad for anybody who's like on right on the head and they accidentally let go of the grip.
Ooh, and
I mean. Yeah, or your stamina runs out, which is
I'm gonna try to let him rest on the shoulders for a second.
Yeah.
Get a second to get some of that stamina back. Climb back out. Charge up the sword.
Boom.
Arrgh.
One more.
A couple more hits. Yeah, one more hit.
One good one. One good one for sure. Yeah. That's the thing is, if you let it charge, you do more damage. If you just poke, you don't do as much.
Yeah.
And
oh, he's teasing.
Did I get the full wind up? Nope.
Oh.
See, I didn't get the full wind up.
Oh, it moved.
Oh no, that went dark, so he's got another one.
Does he? I forgot. Is it on his front side?
Can you see? No. Well, the one on his head went dark.
Check his torso.
Yeah, go around the front. Or his elbow. There it is. It was on his elbow.
Oh.
I think it's on his elbow, on his arm.
It could be, yeah.
Where I was just heading.
Yeah.
All right. Come on, guy.
Oh, I see it. It's right on his arm.
Oh, he stabbed that one in the ground.
Come on now. Come on, dude.
See, that's the thing too. It's like you have to like be patient enough to get him to bait, to like swing his sword. And he's probably gonna just stab you now.
Shooting him in the crotch?
Maybe.
Hey, I wasn't gonna say anything.
Rude.
Can you grab on?
I tried. There was.
You may have to get some. You
have to get him distance. Near that metal point, right?
Oh yeah. Try. Yeah.
Boom. Is that it? Nope. I'm on the edge. I'm like, where is it? This area is just so big.
It's right there. Right. Yep.
Run. Sprint. Or I just need to put enough distance between us that he actually does the downward attack.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pew pew pew. I'm over here.
Did he lose sight of you?
Yeah, he's like looking for me. Yeah. I mean, you're basically like an ant.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. Now here it comes.
Nice. There he goes.
There he comes.
Like, that might be the right distance.
Gonna kill you, you little bastard.
You son of a bitch.
Oh man, I felt that one.
Could you imagine that? Like, you get stung by a bee and you're chasing after the bee. You get back here, you little shit. Oh.
There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. Oh. Okay, you're good. Is that it? Right? No, I can't be.
I think it's on his other arm.
It's on the other arm. Other arm, right?
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna be
ballsy.
I'll be a different ballsy than what I was originally thinking. Ah! Oh god!
Oh
boy! I'm just like
okay.
grab onto something.
I'm legitimately just holding on to my breath
Clenching.
right now.
Right?
This is pucker factor here.
Ah,
Don't jump.
No.
Don't jump, dude.
Don't jump. Not yet. That's not the right. Oh, there it is.
His stomach is glowing again.
Look at that.
Okay. Oh boy.
There you go.
Did you not take out his stomach? I thought
I did.
I thought you could have just swapped places again, like so many how many times you hit it, and it goes back to where it was.
Hot swap. Ah, he's still got a little bit more.
It's so close.
Come on. There
you go.
Wake the night.
That's oh man, that's what I love about this video game. It's just like it's so it's anxiety.
See, look at the scope it backs out.
Clench.
Right. Oh right, just from like where back
the full wide shot. You see how big everything is.
And see that's where it goes again. It kind of goes with what you were saying, Drew, too. It's like, okay, this is a sad moment now. It felt like just that little it was just like seeing that shot, it felt kind of like, I don't know, it didn't feel right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But man, like it's like I'm having a blast just playing this game, and I haven't played it in so long.
It's good. I mean, they did a good job on the remaster, because all they did was just give it that little bit of polish that it needed.
Right.
They didn't change anything, like they didn't, like, the story's the same.
What do you think about this announcement of the Star Wars Knights of the Republic remake, Drew?
I think I would have preferred something else. I'm just not a big Knights of the Republic. I just never played it. I never got into it. So I played. Well, I did play it, but I never got into it.
I gotcha.
Like where people I know are still playing it, and that's great. Those games I can't. I say this in a way I can't play because I don't have the time. Right, I just can't invest.
At least 60 hours or so into a big RPG like that.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Like they're just too big. And here's the problem: I will get invested, and then my wife will divorce me.
Like our child is starving.
That's right. They'll be like, you lost your job, and you
spent $1,000 on.
But it's cool. I'm like a level 48 Jedi, so fuck you guys. It's all whatever.
Good. It's all
people just have like the silver lining.
Yeah, exactly. So, so I have nothing against the game. I'm sure it's going to look. Listen, anything Star Wars, it's going to be awesome. And if they can, like, I think the one thing the Knights of the Republic was, when I played it, was missing it. You kind of I never felt like you were a really badass Jedi. Where like when I played Jedi Fallen Order, I was like, oh yeah.
That's the announcement I'm waiting for. Jedi Fallen Order 2.
Right. I was like, now we've got there. We finally play a game where I feel like, okay, this is cool. I feel powerful and can do cool shit as a Jedi. So, if in the remaster, they could kind of like, as a Jedi, you're able to, more aptly like block blaster bolts and do cool things, and as a rogue or as a bounty hunter, and like do more interesting things. I think that'd be interesting, but I don't know. Again, I guess if Knights of the Republic was more like Skyrim, like I think I could see it, but I don't know if it'll be that. I think it's more of like a remaster, like a re-skinning. Like it's just gonna be the same game.
We'll see. I mean, they claim it's a remake. It's actually titled as remake, so I'm like, is it though?
Well, with Knights of the Old Republic, they had their own kind of style of gameplay, really.
Well, it was very much. It was grounded in like the Dungeons and Dragons style of mechanics, the dice rolling. Well, not even MMO. It was very, MMORPG. It was very like I said, it's dice rolling. Like you can see like the numbers, and I love the original Knights of the Republic.
Yeah.
But I've gone back and tried to play it, and it's the clunky gameplay that I'm like, ugh, this is rough to try to go through again.
Yeah. It'd be interesting. Listen, I'll give anything a go. I might actually like play it, the remake, but I don't know. Again, it's just hard to invest that much time into those kind of big scope games. Like
well,
even Red Dead Redemption, which isn't as role playing of a game as that, I have a hard time jumping into because of its scope. Right? It's just
you too.
Oh yeah,
yeah. You know, it's
I have a problem with any big open world game.
Yeah.
Like I love Ghost of Tsushima, but it's so big. Like there's so much to do. There's so much.
But there's also, it's kind of like God of War. Like it felt big, but it was also linear and small, and it's in the things you could do, right? Like I never felt it can be as big or as small as you want it to be. And you know what I'm saying? Like I felt like where Ghost of Tsushima, I haven't played it yet, but I get the same sense that it has that feeling where like,
well, go play Ghost of Tsushima, and then once you get off the first part of the island, and then you realize, holy shit, this island is huge.
Yeah, but I heard you can beat that game in like 16 hours.
That I don't know how you would.
Oh, really?
You would probably when I feel like that's what people when they say 16 hours, it's like that's just constant. Like
I have like 30 or 40 hours in that game, and I still haven't gotten like halfway through it.
Really?
Oh, really?
Wow. See, I didn't hear
But then
that.
again, I'm a sucker for. I see a bird chase it, I see a fox chase it. You know, like I get distracted by everything.
Yeah. No, I'm the same way. I'll play every fucking side quest there is if I can get a cool fucking outfit. So yeah, I'll probably invest like 30 to 40 hours in it, but I heard like, and that's fine if I know that like there's an ending, you know, like I'll continue to play if I know that I'm not going to be spending the rest of my life upgrading my character, right? You know, like I feel like, again, like God of War is a good example, I feel like, or I'm trying to think of another game where you can kind of you can be a completionist but not feel like you have to spend your life completing it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. God, that's because it was Red Dead Redemption. They do that too, where you do certain quests to
Destiny I feel like Assassin's Creed is always rough with that.
Division 2.
Mm-hmm.
Division 2 is like that. That's a lot of grinding.
Yeah. Yeah, but again, like going back, like without grinding, like do you have to like, I don't know. You know, I think there's a weird line between like I have to grind in this game, which feels more arduous than like I want to have fun because this side quest or this puzzle, like Lara Croft or something, like the new Tomb Raider games felt like that, where like, you know, I just enjoy exploring this world, and I'm going to continue to play and maybe get these trophies because I like the fast travel and I like going back through these tombs and doing the things and fighting the bad guys, you know, because I like the combat, right? Where like sometimes I feel like the grind of it is like, oh, I gotta run all the way back to this thing. You know, where like if games built like Jedi Fallen Order is a great example, you know, you build in these fast travel mechanics or like the ability to warp to other planets really quickly, and it's easy to kind of like jump in and be like, I know where to go, I know how to get that trophy, or I know where to get that.
I think Jedi Fallen Order was the last game I 100%ed, like platinumed, you know, every gamer score, all of it, because once I beat the game, I was like, oh, I can see how much more I have left to get,
right? And
then hit all the planets and 100% them, and I was like, cool, I did it. Like I got everything.
Yeah. And I like those games because I feel like there's a very, you play the story and it's very linear. It's linear in the sense that like you can complete it and feel satisfied, but if you want to explore more, you can, right?
It's like an in-between of linear and non-linear almost.
Yeah.
Like it's the right balance of that where it's still linear.
Force Unleashed 2 kind of failed in that respect, because it was a fun linear game, but it was super short. Like you could beat it in an afternoon and you're like, that's it?
Yeah.
I'm done.
I feel like Mass Effect kind of had the most, like it was kind of that type of blend as well, where you can, if you don't want to go to this, that's fine. But they did introduce consequences.
Interesting.
You know, it's like, okay, well, if you didn't go rescue these kids, you're not going to get, you know, I forget, like you're not going to get a war asset or something out of it or something. But it's just stuff like that.
Yeah, I really want to play Mass Effect, especially with the remasters. But yeah, because I hear good things. But again, I hear also too those are pretty big in scope games. So
the first game is the shortest.
Yeah.
Oh, that I've learned.
Yeah. Man, that was fun. Thanks for playing
great. Yeah, thank you.
We're happy to have you here.
Yeah, happy to have you here, Drew. Thank you for joining us. Happy to have you back anytime. We could play some GoldenEye, maybe some Star Wars.
Totally, man. Oh man, I warn you when you play GoldenEye, it does not hold up. Like, and I mean that in the best way possible.
Right?
It just
that's where it's the funniest though.
The controls are just
horrid,
awful.
It's horrid. Yeah,
man. It's one of those games where I literally am like, I actually tell people, I'm like, hey, if you ever get the opportunity to play GoldenEye, don't. Like, because if you were a fan, like if you play like as much as I'd played that game, like the nostalgia is so strong.
Yeah, so much heavier.
Then that when you play that game, like you try to run the emulator and you're playing that, you're like, oh fuck, like
this is dog shit.
This is
I don't even need the emulator. I have my Nintendo 64 with GoldenEye.
Well, that's I do too.
Oh
yeah,
man.
But I mean, either way, like even if you have the controller and you're like all jacked set up, it still is just a terrible first-person shooter because we're so used to good first-person shooters now. Like like we got spoiled with Halo.
We're used to having one stick that aims instead of pushing buttons to aim.
Yeah. Oh man, so I mean, I'm happy to watch you flail around and play that game and talk about it. But man,
same here. I'm always happy to see you throw a controller to a wall. That's why I'm here.
Yeah. I'll if you want to put yourself through that torture, I'll watch it because I'm sure that'll be fun to watch somebody just struggle, especially if someone else is playing Odd Job and you're trying to shoot Odd Job and it's nearly impossible.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, this was great. This was fun. Shadow Colossus definitely holds a special place in my gaming heart. So it's always fun to kind of jam on about it.
Well, we're happy that you were able to share your thoughts on all of this, and we're happy to have you back on. And if you ever want to, you just let us know.
Yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, let me know. Maybe if keep me appraised of the games. I'm sure there's something that I could nerd out on with you. Obviously, there's some things I'm just going to be like, negative. Ghost Rider. There is no way I'm talking about that game, just because I have no knowledge.
When does Drew not have knowledge? But yeah,
trust me, there are times.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you, Drew. That's it.
All right, I'll take care. I'll see you guys soon.
Bye, everybody.
I wish it wasn't so robotic. Recording in progress.
It's better than it used to be.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess so.
The original one where it was like, this meeting's being recorded. And like,
that's true. You're like, holy shit, Jesus.
Oh my God.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Well, now I can't hear.
It's like, why are you so angry, computer?